project on Eva Peron, and does anyone know her real full name? It was Maria Eva Duarte de Peron. She was born on May 7th, 1919 and died July 26, 1952. She was the second wife of Juan Perón, who was the president of Argentina, elected in 1946, and she was the first lady of Argentina from 1946 to 1952 when she died. Her nickname was Evita, and it showed a sign of affection by the Argentina people. She did a lot of charities and feminist movements. She worked with people in suffrage and didn't like to be referred to as a feminist because she didn't like that term. She formed the Fundación María Eva Duarte de Perón, also known as the Eva Peron Foundation. It was created July 8th, 1948, and the first donation put into the foundation was 10,000 pesos, which was put in by Eva herself. Many of the donations came from Peronist unions, private businesses, and tax money from lottery and movie tickets. Within a few years, they raised 3 billion pesos, which is the equivalent of about over $200 million in American money. It employed 1,400 workers and 26 priests. It donated 400,000 pairs of shoes and 500,000 sewing machines to the poor people in Argentina. And the money also went to build an entire community known as Evita City. Eva Peron was also well known as the woman to bring the Argentinian women the right to vote. Though it was passed Law 13, Section 10, stated the equality of political rights between men and women in universal suffrage. She created the Female Peronist Party, which was the first largest feminist political party in the nation. And by 1951, 500,000 members were in the party, and about 3,600 headquarters were established throughout the nation. In the 1951 election, she was nominated to become vice president, but decided to decline the nomination because of her failing health. In the early 1950s, she fainted in public and underwent a surgery a few days after. It was known that the surgery was an appendectomy, but it was really, she had realized that she had been diagnosed with cervical cancer. A few months after declining the nomination of vice president, she underwent a secret hysterectomy in an attempt to eradicate the cervical cancer. June 4th, 1952, she rode with Perón through Buenos Aires in his celebration of his re-election as president of Argentina. She actually had a frame she had on a fur coat while riding in the car during his celebration, and underneath her coat she had a plaster and a bunch of wires to help her be able to carry herself because she didn't have the strength in herself to stand. At a ceremony a few days after Juan Perón's inauguration, Evita was given the title Spiritual Leader of the Nation. Evita died at age 33 at 8:25 p.m. on July 26, 1952. All activity in Argentina actually ceased for 2 days. After Eva Perón's death, there were plans to construct a monument. It was said to have been built to be larger than the Statue of Liberty, and she was going to be stored in the basement of the monument. While waiting for the monument to be completed, her body was stored in her old office for about 2 years, but before the completion of the monument, her husband, Juan Perón, was overthrown by a military coup, and he ended up fleeing the country of Argentina. The military dictatorship removed the body, and the whereabouts of Eva Perón's body were unknown for about 16 years. They finally discovered her body, and she was buried in a crypt in Milan, Italy, under the name of Maria Maggia. When the body was discovered, she was buried in the crypt in the Duarte family tomb in La Recoleta Cemetery in Buenos Aires. There's a trapdoor in the tomb's marble floor, which leads to a compartment containing Eva Peron's body. It's actually said that the compartments protecting her body would be able to withstand a nuclear attack. Eva Peron is known as a pop culture icon. After her death, there were many books, plays, and musicals named after her. She had a biography, The Woman with the Whip, and there was a 1981 movie. The first movie released of her was called Eva Peron, and the most well-known play of Eva Peron is the musical Evita. And when the film version was created, Madonna was cast as the lead role for Eva Peron.